The thing here is that if you're looking for a personal loan that pulls Equifax, right, and you happen to be in the bad category, in the bad credit score category, there are a lot of things you have to do, boss. So in today's conversation, I want to really share with you a few things we have learned in the last 30 years, 30 years, okay, that could actually help you navigate the whole bad credit score thing, especially if you're looking for a loan that pulls Equifax. Okay, so here are the steps I really want you to follow. The first thing you got to really think about here is to actually run the numbers. I don't care what you do. I don't care how bad you think your Equifax credit score is. You got to run the numbers. And what I'm trying to say here is that, sometimes you want a loan, right? We want a loan, and we want a loan so fast. We want a big loan for that matter. And we haven't thought about whether or not we could afford actually paying the loan back. So this is something you got to think about, boss. So my question to you is, you're just sitting around thinking, I want a 20 grand loan. I want a 25 grand loan. Have you thought about how are you going to repay the loan? Okay, this is important. This is quite essential because the lender is going to actually evaluate your application on the basis of the repayment. That's what they call it. So they look at your DTI, your debt to income ratio, and they start thinking, well, this applicant, we can't really, because the risk is too high. The default risk is too high because this applicant has not demonstrated the ability to repay the loan. So run the numbers, boss. If you want 25 grand, ask yourself, how much am I like, will I be making in monthly payments? Is it $500? Okay. What you do here is you actually lay out your budget and trying to plug this $500 in and see what the numbers come up to. Like if you were actually having a monthly, let's say a net disposable income on a monthly basis of $1,000. Once you have the $500 included as extra payment, that goes down to $500, right? Now, if you are in the negative, that means that you probably need to lowball the loan that you want. So you want 25 grand, you can't afford it. That's the bottom line, boss. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here. We're having a conversation today about how do you actually get a massive personal loan that pulls personal Equifax. If you happen to have a FICO score that starts around 515, this is really important. So first, I want you to run the numbers. You can use your calculator. You can use a budget in Excel or Google Sheet. You can also use those online loan calculators to sort of have a clear idea. The second thing I want you to do here is that, you want to have a personal loan that pulls Equifax. So how about just going back to Equifax and see, where you're currently at. This is like quintessential. And when I'm not asking you to pay for anything. I don't want you to pay for anything at all. You have a lot of platforms, including annualcreditreport.com, that actually allow you to get your to get a copy of your personal Equifax credit score and report for free. Boss, I want you to avail yourself of that opportunity. Okay. The thing here is that, like, the law says you are entitled anytime your ask gets denied for a loan or credit card, that you have access to a free copy of your credit score and report. Avail yourself of that. And on top of that, once a year, you also have the opportunity to access your access your credit report and score. Now, one thing I have to say here is that, by the way, before I just keep on going, let me just quickly remind you of today's conversation. The topic here is, how do you get a massive personal loan that pulls personal Equifax with a FICO score of 515, like a minimum? Like, you just like in the bad credit score category or the poor credit score category. This is not a bad location. This is not a great location to be in terms of the FICO score spectrum. But hey, listen, been there, done that. You could take steps right now to actually start mitigating whatever negative factors are coming into your life when it comes to credit worthiness. Okay, so when I talk about when I'm having a conversation with you about checking your credit score, I'm not just asking you to focus only on your Equifax credit score. Yeah, obviously, the lender that you are contacting will actually pull your Equifax. However, based on our research, we always advise our viewers and our clients, for that matter, to always review the 3 credit reports. Okay, you want to review your TransUnion. You want to review your Experian, because there could be something that is derogatory sneaking into one of those two that hasn't made its way yet into your Equifax. But if you catch it beforehand, this is a great thing. Okay, so review all 3. The third thing I want you to do here is that you have to really ask yourself, let's say I want a loan. I want a massive personal loan. I run the numbers. Okay, I have checked my credit score. I think I could qualify. You got to really sit around and ask yourself. You got to consider your options. See, the whole thing here is that you might have to take a secure loan. You might have to take a co-sign, like you might have to take a co-borrower loan. Okay, you might have to do something. The whole thing here is that your options may be limited if you have like really, really crappy credit score. Excuse my word. I mean, it's just whatever it is. Okay, you are in a situation. You got to ask yourself, how do I get myself out of this hole, quote unquote, that I'm in? Okay, consider your options. One thing I want to say here is when we talk about considering your options, go back and look at your personal financial statements. Do you have any assets right now? Do you have a house? Do you have a car, like fully paid car? Do you have any other type of equipment that you could actually collateralize to get the loan? Because see, sometimes if you have a bad credit score, if you have a poor credit score, it's just better to collateralize the loan. If you have a secure loan, you stand a chance of approval real fast. On top of that, you have better terms and conditions, okay? Because you might have like APRs in the single digits, which never happens for unsecured loans for folks with bad or fair credit. Okay, so those are things I really want you to think about. You always have options. Okay, now if you don't meet the qualifications requirements for a decent rate and you need a loan right now, and you can use a cosigner. Okay, you can use a cosigner to improve your chances too. The bottom line here is you want to always go back to your spreadsheet. What we just talked about earlier when we spoke about a spreadsheet. You want to go back to that spreadsheet and plug in the numbers, plug in new numbers and see, okay, I want 20 grand. Okay. Can I afford it? Okay. Do I qualify? No. Okay. I want 15 grand. So you want to bring down the number until you have found the right number that you could qualify for. Okay. And because this is like, the thing is, it's all about stuff that happens in life the same way. Like you got to lower your expectations if you feel like, the reality doesn't match your expectations. Okay. The next thing I want you to do, boss, and again, we're having a conversation here about what? How do you actually get approved for a massive personal loan that pulls personal Equifax if your Equifax score starts at 515, okay? Now you have to really choose your loan type. The thing here is that you have to know where you stand on the FICO spectrum, okay? I've got that information. What do I do now? Well, the thing here is that there is a typology of personal loans. There are different types of personal loans. And sometimes based on your situation, based on your family situation, based on your job, like your job history, where you live, your geography, because see, if you have kids, for instance, if you have kids and you are in a long-term relationship with your significant other, and you're pulling all the resources together, your financial profile will be different from one of a person who is single or even a married person who is not pulling their financial resources together, right? So it really depends on the family dynamics. It depends on your employment history. It depends on your overall financial situation. So if your economic situation right now is a little tricky, is a little shaky, if you're having problems making ends meet, the kind of loan you're going after will be different. What I'm trying to say here is that we talked about massive personal loan, but under this umbrella of massive personal loans, you can have something like emergency loans. You can have debt consolidation loan. You can have a credit card refinancing loan. You can have a home improvement loan. You can have medical loan. You can have a wedding loans, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay, my question to you is, which type of loan do you want, and why? Okay, obviously you have run the numbers. You're pretty comfortable that, okay, whatever number you come up with in terms of in terms of monthly payments, you will be able to afford that, right? Because that number has to actually be plugged into your budget and not create a problem. What's the problem I'm talking about? The problem is, if you take an extra loan, your DTI must be either static, it must remain at the same level, or go down. Because if your DTI is going up, this is really bad. Because remember, there's an inverse relationship. There's an inverse relationship between your DTI and your FICO score. So if your DTI goes up, your FICO score goes down, and vice versa. So you got to really pay attention to that part of things. The next thing I want you to do here is to actually shop around for the best personal loan rates. Okay, even if you have bad credit, don't let anybody dazzle you, telling you, hey, listen, you can't qualify for great rates. It's just because nobody tries. Everybody's like, yeah, I know that my ass has a bad credit score anyway. I ain't getting a lower loan. I ain't getting a lower interest rates for all intents and purposes. I ain't getting anything better anyway. Well, if you actually if you consider yourself already defeated, like, see, the whole thing is it's all about the mindset. What we have here is we have a $1 or $2 or $3 trillion industry when it comes to loans and credit cards and lines of credit and whatnot. So you have a lot of players. You have a lot of you have players for every category and every subcategory. You have players for the subprime market. You have players for the prime market. You have players for anything in between. So there is a constellation of players in this industry. So the point I'm trying to make here is that, you got to shop around. Nowadays with the internet, thank God, you have the opportunity. You have websites that specialize in sort of matching lenders to borrowers. You have websites that actually give you reviews about loans. It doesn't matter if you are in the subprime category. You have loans. You have a constellation of loans. Now the only problem is the interest rate is high. That's for sure. The terms and conditions are not very satisfactory. Yes, but listen, you got to pay for something. If you have bad credit, be ready to pay for something. That makes sense because, hey, listen, the same way you're trying to cover your ass by getting a good loan with a good rate and a massive amount, the lender is trying to cover his or her ass too by thinking about lending to the best possible borrower. In other words, trying to avoid all those crazy ass, defaulting risk, default risk driven poor credit borrowers. It's all about having a zero-sum game. But the thing here is that everybody wants to make money. You want to make money by actually having lower interest. You want to make money by having access to a loan. The lender just wants to make sure that they can lend to you by reducing their risk to the maximum. The next thing I want you to do here is, again, we're talking about what? We're talking about how to get a massive personal loan that pulls personal Equifax. It's really important to understand that. There was a story not long ago in the Harvard Business Review, and they were talking about how the economy is shifting, right? And lenders are repositioning themselves because now they have a resurgence of new lenders, the fintech lenders. So in this industry, you have new players coming in, and they're just kicking ass like crazy. They are kicking ass like crazy. You have the likes of Upgrade, Upstart. You have the likes of Avant. You have the likes of One Main Financial. So you have a lot of players, old and new, who are trying to reposition themselves. You know what? That's really good for you. Even if you have a FICO score at 515, 525, 600, you can still get a decent loan, okay, with a decent rate. So you want to pick a lender and apply. So when we talk about picking a lender, you have to really ask yourself, how do I actually go and do the research? The good thing is because you have a diversity of lenders, you have a plurality, that's the key word here, plurality of lenders. You are going to choose the best for you. So go on websites like you can try direct lenders. So you want to start with your bank. I'm talking about your bank, where you currently have a bank account right now. I ain't talking about tomorrow. I'm not talking about yesterday. Where you are located bank-wise right now. You want to start there. Go to a branch. Ask questions. Okay. You want to ask all the questions, collect all the intel that you need, and so you can actually apply. The second thing is you can just go online, right? You want to try with the fintech lenders. Fintech, those players, they're really good too. You can try with the payday lenders as well. I mean, they will charge you crazy ass like APRs. But hey, listen, if you're desperate, quote unquote desperate, and you need the cash, well, you can't do anything, right? You have to go that route. The bottom line here is, and on top of that, you also have lending marketplaces. You have P2P, okay, peer-to-peer lending marketplaces. And so like Lending Club, for example, that's a good one. The cool thing here is that, again, as I said, you have a plurality of lenders who are ready to finance the loans of borrowers. So this is just fantastic. The next thing I want you to do here, boss, is to actually provide the necessary documentation. So the whole thing here is that, okay, basically you pick the lender, you have actually applied. That's kind of cool, but you got to really be in a situation where you got to ask yourself, okay, what is this lender asking for? This is why you got to do a thorough research and really know exactly what the lender is asking for. Some lenders are very particular in terms of the requirements. Like the paperwork must be specifically the way they want it. Okay, I mean you have PNC, for instance. You have Truist, for example. You have U.S. Bank. They are really thorough, and they want their paperwork in a certain way. All right, and so you want to provide the necessary documentation, and you want to also make sure that you are able to. So once you actually gather things like pay stubs, proof of residence, driver license information, W-2s, all those things. When you have them ready, then you can actually submit. Okay, you can submit online, you can submit over the phone, you can submit via snail mail. That's not a problem. So once everything is fine, just accept the loan, start making payments. You can actually, so you have to sign the loan. Please just read the fine prints. I know nobody actually reads the fine print, but hey, listen. You don't want to be sorry because there was an important clause in there that you actually ignored, and now you're having problems, and the bank is just raising that clause, and you're like, oh, I didn't read that. So the judge is not going to find the bank guilty or whatever because you did not read it. This is your responsibility to read the fine prints. Okay. Now, let me give you a few tips for spitting out the process before we close to this conversation. If you want to actually get a massive personal loan that pulls Equifax with a FICO score of 515 minimum, okay, you want to check your credit report before applying. Okay, very, very important. You want to pay off the debt. If you have any sort of a crazy debt out there that you could actually knock off, please do that because this will lower your DTI. I was just telling you earlier, right? I said there is an inverse correlation. There's an inverse relationship between your DTI ratio and your FICO score. So if you pay off debt, your DTI is going down. If your DTI is going down, your FICO score is going up. Okay, and you want to talk to your existing financial institution because again, you want to start where you are currently at. That's what I just said. And see, this could be your credit union, this could be your bank, okay? And try to get pre-qualified. If you have a low credit score, if you have bad credit score, sometimes it's just a lot better to see what's out there by trying to be pre-qualified first, okay? And think about also online lenders. They can actually help you. That's what I just said. Those online lenders or those fintech lenders, they can help you actually get a better loan, okay? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to actually get a massive personal loan that pulls Equifax with a FICO score of 515. How do you actually do that? Okay, you want to run the numbers first. You want to check your credit score. You want to consider your options. You want to choose your loan type. You want to shop around for the best personal loan rates. Pick a lender and apply and provide the necessary documentation and accept the loan and start making payments. Thank you, boss. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.